Haven's Hollow might just have the craziest Easter egg in the history of Warzone, and it's called the Blood Moon Ritual Easter Egg. I'm going to show you an in-depth guide so you can complete this with your team and bag yourself an awesome calling card and an absolutely insane in-game experience. So the Blood Moon Ritual Easter egg can be completed in normal or casual Resurgence, but you have to have at least one other player with you because there's simply too much to do on the map for it to be done solo. Now, I'm not saying it's physically impossible, but it's kind of insane of what you have to do, so you really do need to have a team with you. So to start this off, you need to head to the mansion on the northern side of the map, and then go inside the attic on the eastern side on the dome. Either inside the room or sometimes just outside will be a psych grenade, and that is very important. What you need to do is pick up the psych grenade and interact with the gramophone, and it will start playing a really low-pitched humming song. Then you need to look at the floor and throw the grenade, and then turn around to interact with the mirror that's behind you. Then you need to turn back around to face the gramophone, and you'll see a note appear in a puff of purple smoke. Now be warned here, you'll need to interact with the note behind you next to the gramophone, but when you do this, it'll do a jump scare, so you have been warned. So when you interact with the note, it'll have a couple of verses written down of a certain ritual. Now once you've read the note, you'll see 3 red symbols glowing red above a splatter of blood on the floor, on an animal skull on the boxes, and on the stone wall above the fireplace. Now my advice is to take a photo using your phone of which symbols you have for each item, because these change every single game. They're not the same ones each time, so you have to perform this ritual to find out which symbols correspond to each of the 3 items that you need to collect. Next, you need to head over to the research center. Now this step is actually optional, however it does help to do this just so you can focus on going to the exact locations for the 3 items that you need to collect. Head to the top floor on the southern side of the research center and go into this office and look for a transparency sheet. Pick it up, and then you need to go to the ground floor and into the side office on the eastern side of the building and interact with the projector, which will tell you where each item is that you need to collect. Now on the map are 3 things to look out for. The first is you have these 3 green dots, and that's where the 3 items are that you need to collect. There'll be one inside the research center, one somewhere around the pond area, and then one somewhere in the coal depot. You'll then see a blue dot on the mansion, which is where you did the ritual, and a red dot next to the barn, which is where the ritual itself will actually take place. Now here are the 3 locations for where the animal bones spawn in the pond area. You'll need to look underneath the decking of one of the marked locations to find the animal bones, and they'll be highlighted and fairly easy to see. The blood vial will spawn somewhere in the research center. Now, I always managed to find the blood vial if it was on the top floor of the manager's office, or if it was in the hospital wing, but when it was on the northeastern corner, I could never find it. So, if you do get that location, you'll need to have a look around, but it's in one of these vial machines, and if you punch it, it will spit out the vial for you to then take. The last item is the Eldritch stone. Now this was a bit buggy because it seems like it spawns underneath one of the yellow hard hats, but once I picked it up without actually doing anything to the hard hat itself, but on another occasion I had to hit it to flip it over, and then the stone was kind of on the floor, so it's kind of a weird one. This might be bugged, so you're just gonna have to keep trying it. Once you have all 3 items, you'll then need to go to the barn, and as long as you have at least one of the items in your bag, the ritual site will appear next to the barn in what looks like blood. Now it's worth mentioning that if you do die at any point during the item collection part, you'll drop any of the items that you have on you and you'll need to pick them up again if you die, so they're not saved in your backpack. You need to be careful so you don't lose them. So now once you're at the barn, you'll need to place the items down on the floor using the prompt that you get based on the symbols you were given for each of the 3 items in the mansion. Again, these symbols change every game, so you must do the ritual at the mansion first to do this Easter egg. I mean, technically you could get lucky and do it without, but I mean, there's kinda no point, it would take too long. Once you place all of the items down in the correct places, the ritual will begin and you'll see a podium rise up with a sword called the Soul Render. Now you can't seem to drop this sword once you pick it up, and you don't seem to be able to plate up either, so this is another reason why you need a team to do this. You'll then see a yellow circle on the minimap which marks the ritual site, and what you need to do is you need to get 5 kills within the circle, and what that'll do is charge up the podium that's in the middle of the ritual site. From the looks of it, you don't actually need to get 5 kills with the Soul Render sword, as long as your team inside the circle is getting the kills for you. Red wisps will fly from the players that you kill and go into the red mist forming at the podium, and once you've got about 5 kills, whoever has the sword then needs to place it back into the podium and the ritual will be completed. Everyone in the match will get notified that you've completed the ritual, and you'll also be awarded the Blood Moon Ritual calling card, which is, quite frankly, amazing. I think it's such a cool reward, and it's obviously going to be an extremely exclusive calling card for anyone that manages to actually unlock it for themselves. Unfortunately, you don't get a blueprint or a camo, which is a shame, but nonetheless, it's a super cool reward to have. You'll also see a huge blood moon in the sky with tentacles whirling around, which looks awesome, and not only that, but for a short time, your whole team will have this red mist around them, and you'll be able to see players through walls, as well as your team being highlighted for you as well. It does seem to wear off after a few minutes though, which is kind of a shame, but makes sense, because it would be a little bit OP to have that for the whole match. But yeah, that's how you complete the Blood Moon Ritual Easter egg on Haven's Hollow, and unlock the End of the Beginning calling card as a reward. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends if you want to go after this challenge too. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss out on my next video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye!